Hi, and welcome to Torch Talk. My name is Brandy Miller, and today we have with us Miss Lori McLaughlin. Hey, Lori.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? So, tell us a little bit about yourself and explain, what do you do here at Richmond Community College?
So my title here at Richmond Community College is Office Administration Program Coordinator. So basically what that means is I'm over the Office Administration Program, so I make decisions about class schedules, any program changes we have. I also teach Office Administration classes, and I teach Business Administration classes as well. Just something fun about myself. I'm born and raised here in Richmond County. I am also a graduate of Richmond Community College. I graduated from the Business Administration program back in 2009. I have a zoo at my house, as my friends like to say. I have 4 dogs, 2 pugs, Pepper and Percy, and then I have 2 mutts, Socks and Brownie, and then I also have a kitty cat. His name is Beans. So I do have a little bit of a zoo at my house, but they are my fur babies and I love them. So that's pretty much it.
So you were a graduate of the Business Administration program. So what was that like, being a student first and then coming back to be the teacher?
It's cool. It's really cool. It's to be honest with you, I never thought that I would be a teacher. When I was younger, or even when I was really working on my associate degree here, I got approached in 2011 by one of the business instructors out here about teaching in the OST program. We had a class called Keyboard and Literacy, and they asked if I would be interested in teaching that, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's try it. Didn't really know if I would like it or not. But honestly, I just fell in love with teaching, helping the students, seeing them grow. So that was really, really cool. Seeing how the Business Administration program has changed has been something, and just letting the students know, hey, yeah, I took this class way back when. When I was doing that program, I was working full-time. So I would take night classes, and then this was the time where online classes was kind of becoming very popular. So I would do online classes too. And the cool thing too about it, some of the instructors I actually had are still teaching out here. So like, for example, for one of my accounting classes, I had Matilda Davis. So now she is in the office right beside of me at the Robinette building, so now we're co-workers, but she was my instructor for accounting back, 2009. So stuff like that's it's just cool.
That is, it's an experience,
Yeah.
Go from student to teacher, and now, just being there to be that person for the students.
Yeah, it's neat.
Okay, so how long is the Office Administration program, and are there any certificates that you can earn while taking this program?
So the Office Administration program, it is a 2-year degree. So if you go full time, it'll be 2 years. 4 semesters, 5 semesters, depending on how you take the classes. We do have some certificates. So we have just the regular Office Administration certificate. You can get that, I believe, in 2 semesters. Then we have the Microsoft software certificate, where you do all the software classes, so Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, Word, and that would probably be about 3 semesters getting them all done. And something that we've recently done is the HR certificate. We worked really hard to get this going. It started this past fall, so there's HR classes built into the Office Administration program. So you'll graduate with your 2-year Office Administration degree, but then you'll also graduate with a certificate in Human Resource Management. You can just do the certificate by itself, of course, and that would be, I think, 6 classes, so you could probably do that 2 semesters. So there are several options. I'm looking at possibly adding some more. Going through all that right now. I think, giving students different options Office administration is very broad. You can go work, legal office, medical office. You can go work for the school system. We have several office or several administrative assistants out here. You could go work for one of the local industries. So it's very broad. So I'm wanting to give students the option of the different certificates depending on what they want to do. So if they want to go work in the medical field or HR somewhere, just kind of giving them that expertise to go along with their office administration degree.
Okay, so this is like an off-topic question, but it kind of correlates. Now, I've noticed that you do have the 3-level human resources classes offered through corporate and continuing education.
Yes.
Now, is that the same thing that's...
It is not. The same topics are covered. The level 1 just started this week. So what me and Leighton Bell decided to do, we came together and said, okay, let's offer kind of a fast-paced, non-curriculum class for people who are wanting to kind of get their feet wet,
Right.
Curriculum classes, they could be 8 weeks, 12, 16 weeks. The HR curriculum classes are 12 weeks. So we're talking about 4 weeks versus 12.
Right.
The level 1 is $70, so it's a bit cheaper than a curriculum class. You're not getting any curriculum credit.
Right.
But it's good for people who want that knowledge. A lot of people that are in the class right now are people that work for local industries and are wanting to get that knowledge because they are doing more for human resource management. That's kind of the trend we see. There's no, let me contact the home office. And, they're having to do a lot of stuff at the local level. So they're needing that knowledge to be able to do it. So it's not the same. It's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. Okay. So one of them you get curriculum credit for. The other one is not, but it's faster, a little cheaper. But it's basically the same knowledge. So whatever your preference is, we have it available for you.
Okay. So, is this program offered in person or online, and what would you say the workload looks like while completing this program?
So it is fully online. None of the OST classes, which are the core classes, are offered face-to-face. Some of the other classes, if you're wanting to do face-to-face, you could, English, math, things like that. But it is fully online. Most of my students are working students, and they have families, so online is definitely more convenient for them, and we're able to reach more students that way. The workload is going to depend on how many classes you take. I have students who are full-time. I have students who only take 2 classes at a time because they are parents and they're working full-time. So, an example I can give you, one of the classes I'm teaching right now is a publisher class. So publisher is, Microsoft software, and you can design brochures and flyers and catalogs and things like that. So during a regular week, you might have 3 to 4 assignments where you go in and you design something, whatever we're on that week. That week we might be on brochures. So the first assignment, you might do the front of a brochure and you would submit that, and then the second assignment you would do, more into it, 2 to 3 pages, and then your third assignment you would do something else with it. So 3 to 4 assignments per week. It's going to depend on the student, how fast they can go, if they're familiar with the software or not. But it's not a crazy, let me sit down 10 hours and get this one assignment done. One assignment an hour or 2 maybe, just depending. So it's not too bad. I've had students who have been in the program several years because they can only take 2 classes at a time, but they get done. And that's what I tell the students. That's the most important thing, is finishing. It doesn't matter how long you take.
Right.
It took me 3 years to get my associate degree because I went at night and I was working full time. when I got my bachelor's degree, it took me 4 years because I was working full time and having to take. So I couldn't. There's only so many classes you can handle when you're working full time and you have kids or other responsibilities.
Okay. So, what type of jobs can you get with this office administration degree? I know you had mentioned it earlier, but just to, I guess, reiterate,
So, it qualifies you for a good bit of things. Couple of examples I'll give, out here at the college. Any admin assistant job at the college requires a 2-year degree, preferably in office administration, so it would qualify you for entry-level jobs out here. A job posting that was just emailed to me this week is for Scotland County government, so working for Scotland County, and it was an admin assistant level 2, I believe, and it was basically administrative assistant for the director of public health in Scotland County, and that would qualify you for that job as well. There's jobs with the public school systems I've seen, Richmond County government, and also local industries like Burlington or ITG Burlington, whichever one you want to call it. They go by both. American Woodmark here, Inviva, all these different industries we have. Every place has to have some office staff. Some of them only have a handful, 3 or 4. Some of them have 20 or 30, depending on what they do at the local level. So that will qualify you for any jobs there. Something that is definitely growing, and that's one reason I'm looking to add some type of medical certificate to my program is, of course, First Health. Right. Especially in Moore County. I mean, every time you go up there, they're adding another building, they're expanding. Who makes your appointments? Who checks you in? Who checks you out? So that would qualify you for those jobs as well. Now, some of the jobs in the medical field where you might do medical billing and coding or other stuff, you would probably have to have classes in that. But just the, front office people, it would qualify you for that as well.
Okay. So, what is a typical starting pay for someone that's going right into this field?
So, that's a really big range. So, I'm going to be honest, I've seen stuff as low as $12, which, isn't very much, especially now.
Yeah.
And that's been in the past, of course, but then I've seen stuff as high as $20. So, it really just depends on where it is. Your private sector, so the local industries, First Health, places like that are going to probably be paying more.
Right.
Local government might pay a little less, but not even really low for that. The job I was just speaking of for Scotland County, the starting pay for that was $38, I believe. So that's pretty good coming out of right out of associate degree, and that was starting pay. The range is of course different and depends where you land, but so you could definitely make a good living off of it, and it just depends on where you want to go, what you want to do, and I'd say search around, try to get the best pay. For small businesses that are looking for admin assistants, those are probably going to be your lower paying jobs because there are small businesses and they can only afford to pay you so much. But those might be the best jobs. So you have to weigh your values to what you're looking for more. Comfort, pay, a little both. So.
Okay, so if a student is looking to continue their education after earning their associate degree, what schools can this degree transfer to?
So this degree is actually non-transferable.
Okay.
But this degree is geared to get you out there and start working. So if you wanted to further your education later on, that's something you can definitely do. I would recommend a bachelor's in business, probably would be closely related. A lot of schools do not have bachelor's in office administration. That's just not really what we see. And the reason we see that is because the associate degree is geared to get you out there and start working. So, that's kind of why it stops there. So, but what I tell people is, if you want to get out there and start working, this is a great degree for you, because that's what it will do. A lot of times, employers will pay for you to go back to school. So, get out there, start working. If you want to get a bachelor's degree, like I said, I would recommend business, but see if your employer will pay for it. That way you're not coming out of pocket paying for it, or, maybe you do get a little financial aid. Maybe they'll pick up what you don't get. And then that way you can continue your education. And, like I said, a bachelor's in business is probably going to be the closest thing. And depending on where you go, depending on how many classes you need, things like that. But that's one good thing, or, one of the several good things about this program is that it'll get you out there and start working, and then hopefully your employer can pay for you to get your bachelor's degree.
Okay, yeah, that is good, because school is very expensive nowadays.
Yes. The job I actually had when I was getting my bachelor's degree, they actually they would reimburse you, of course, after you took the class and passed, but they would pay for your tuition, which I was very thankful for, because I did not get financial aid.
Right.
So I was very thankful for any help I could get. So.
Okay, so what advice do you have for a student that is looking to join this program?
Really, I would just get into it. I tell my students the best way for them to learn stuff is to dive right into it. You're not going to break anything by pressing buttons. So the best way to do it is just get started. A lot of times even if you think you're going to like something, you don't know until you actually start doing it. So one of the first classes you'll take is a keyboarding class, where you learn, of course, to type correctly, get your speed up, but you also learn Word and how to create memos and letters properly. Mm-hmm. So, when you get into that, if you love it, great, but if you don't, you'll find out, and then you can back up and say, okay, what else can I go with? So really just dive right into it. It's, especially for older people, and I say older people, I'm talking about my age, people who have full-time jobs and children and other responsibilities. You can talk about it all you want, but you just gotta suck it up and do it. And I've never met a student, not only in my program, but just overall, I've never met somebody that says, I wish I didn't get that degree. I wish that I hadn't went to school. It's not something you're going to regret. It's something that you can be very proud of. I'm proud of every single one of my students. I love to see them accomplish stuff. And like I said, it's not something you're going to regret. It's something that's going to help you. You're going to be proud of. These are real life skills that you're going to learn in this program that you can take to any job and apply. So read up on it on the website. Contact me, any of our career advisors here, to find out more. My program, I try to make it as fun as possible. And what I mean by that is, of course, you're going to have work to do. But, for example, my students that are graduating this semester, they're taking their capstone class. One of their assignments is they have to reach out to one of our admin assistants out here and interview them, kind of like a day in the life of thing. Mm-hmm. And then they'll write a very short paper about that person, their job, their duties, what they do. So I like to give firsthand experiences. That's the best way you're going to learn. We can do hypothetical all day long, but, let's get you familiar with what you're actually going to be doing, Right. We help with job placement. There's all the time employers locally that are looking for office help part-time. So you can actually probably work part-time in an office environment if you wanted to while you're going to school. The best advice, just do it. You just got to pull that trigger. And, this is a very practical degree. And everything you learn can be applied when you graduate, or apply while you're working, you know, in an office setting, waiting to graduate. My students I had last May that graduated, they had jobs before we even got to graduation. So there's jobs out there. You know, this is not a degree where you're going to struggle trying to find a job. You can find them. So yeah, just do it. Just do it. Stop talking about it and do it. And hopefully I'll see you, you know, in the for summer classes or fall classes.
Well, Lori, that was very inspirational. Well, I appreciate you coming on Torch Talk today.
Yep, I enjoyed it. And another good thing about my program is that when I send emails out, I'll, you know, I usually try to give good inspirational quotes in my emails. Might send you a picture of a dog or two because that's always going to put a smile on somebody's face. So, and really, I think of my role, yes, program coordinator. I'm the full-time instructor, but I'm also here to help the students any way they can.
Right.
And I will bend over backwards to make sure they succeed. So,
well, Lori, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, this is Torch Talk. I'm Brandy Miller, and we will see you next time.